Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Fight Chat Friday from TKD Coach Academy. We're in episode 177. Myself and Richie tomorrow will be going off to the ITA Munster Championships. Big tournament, 1150 competitors. We'll be bringing some of our own competitors to compete there. So this week we wanted to have a little bit of a look at fight management or fight day competitor management. So what are the important things that you can do as a coach on the day of competition to help to support your athletes, your competitors, as they get ready to get on the mats and perform at their very, very best. So Richie, what will we start with?
Yeah, so guys, we have three main areas we want to look at. These are control, confidence, and also challenge state. So 3 C's, easy to remember. These are just three things that you can keep in mind to help your fighters in terms of the mental management of competing. Not easy for people to compete. Everybody feels the nerves and things like that. So these are just a couple of little ways that you can help your fighter or your athlete or your student, whatever way you want to put it, to be in a better position. So Adrian, which one will we start with first?
Let's kick off with that control. Why not?
Yeah. So in control, we're talking about basically how can you help your athlete understand the things that are in their control, the controllables we call these things. So essentially we're looking at the work rate that you have in the ring or on the mats, whatever your event may be, and also your attitude and mindset. So these are the only really two things you can control while you're performing. Other than that, you're only going to be able to control the idea of your preparation and your warm up and things like that. And even to some degree, these things are still a little bit out of control, depending on schedules, etc., from time to time. So you can't be in control of the scores, what you're being rewarded for, your opponent, what they do, etc. So just help your athlete focus on these areas that they can only control. It will very much help them in terms of the mental management of the whole event, and just give them a little bit of an ease in terms of what they can and can't control.
Perfect. Next one that we'll have a little bit of a look at is high levels of confidence. And the one thing about confidence that you're going to be sure of as a coach is you can't build it on the day. You can't fake it. You can't instill it into the competitor on the day. So confidence is going to be based on evidence of past competence. So we want to build up a bank of evidence. We call it memories of the competitor being successful, doing things well in previous competitions, in training. And this is really supported if you have, for example, video, if you've had conversations in the past that reinforce the things that the competitor has done well. And in particular, if there's been a good relationship and a good discussion between you and your competitor over the weeks, months or years in the past, that gets them focusing on the things that they do well as opposed to the mistakes that they're making and so on. So this bulletproof confidence is based on having a huge bank of evidence that shows you that you should be confident. That's based on your preparation. It's based on your training. It's based on having realistic rounds of sparring in your training sessions and the kind of challenges that you've overcome in that, so that you have that confidence that what you've been working on is going to work when you get in the ring.
Yeah, and there's two types of confidence as well when it comes to this. You have the confidence that you might feel on the day. You have that feel. You have your flow going, and that's not really something that you can kind of rely on. So the idea for the coach here is to be able to draw on the experiences and almost reminders that you've had in the past of what they've experienced. And like, for example, maybe you're competing with very high level people who aren't going to be at the level that people you're with today. For example, you might be training with people who are senior when you're junior, etc. It doesn't really matter what it is, but once you can draw confidence on it and help your athlete as a reminder, these are going to be very valuable.
Cool. And our last one then is about that challenge state and embracing the concept of challenge. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here really is there's two mental states we can have when it comes to competition, and that's challenge state or threat state. Threat state is not good, and a lot of evidence and research suggests that anytime someone is in a threat state and they feel like this is a do or die moment, they perform a little bit suboptimally. So we want to have that challenge state ideally. And what is that? It's you seeing this as a challenge, whether it's the best person in the world. Instead of you coming up and saying, oh my God, I'm going to get destroyed, I'm going to lose this match completely. No, it's a challenge. You get to take on the best in the world, see where you're at, and have it as a challenge mindset. So this is very, very important. And if you, as the coach, can help your athletes or your students to remember this and bring more of a challenge mindset, whereas if you come at them and you put pressure on them and say, like, this is do or die, you have to do it, there's like loads of pressure, it's not going to help them one bit whatsoever. Although all the movies and all the sports things that we've seen in the past of the high drama and the documentaries, this is not the reality of the situation. You want to help them, not put them in a situation where there's added pressure loaded on their back. So make sure you bring a challenge state and remind them of this.
And it's really, really important as well, this concept of the challenge state, where we know that from a learning perspective, if you have those two other polar extremes where there is a threat state where it's just overwhelming, you're not going to learn from that experience. It's just going to confirm your negative emotions and so on. It's not going to be great. And then on the flip side of it, if there isn't challenge, if you're in a division that's too easy for you, if you're in a section where you're not going to really have to perform to your best, you're actually not going to learn from that either. All of that learning happens in that challenge zone. So if the challenge is appropriate, if it's a bit outside your comfort zone, if you're against people who are a little bit better than you, it will bring the best out of you and give you the most opportunity to learn, which again feeds back to the earlier ones where, you know, those experiences will let you feel competent, which is going to help grow your confidence.
Absolutely. So there you are, some keys, the 3 C's. Bring these to the next competition, use some of them, practice them, and hopefully your athletes will benefit.
Catch you in the next one. Bye now.
See you then.